Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is Gloria Lee, the moderator for the show Women of Courage. Wherever you are in the world, I need you to know one thing right now. You are amazing. I know you might be upset. I know you might be hurting. And I know you might be frustrated. I know because all of these things happened to me. I was homeless for 2 years, and all I had was a computer, my son, and a car. I want you to know you still have a purpose in life, and it is my job to help you believe that again. Do you want to believe? Can you see that the divorce was not meant to take you out? Can you believe that the lost house and the lost job is a setup for something greater? By the end of this broadcast, you'll be injected with so much that you cannot help but believe again. And I am going to help you do just that. Are you ready? I got some things I want to share with you. And I will even make suggestions on books and activities that you can implement, which will ultimately bring healing and wholeness to you. If you are ready to be healed, if you're ready to be whole, just jot down the pointers I give and watch your life transform. No matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, today is a new day, and your time to live and be free is now. Join me in this journey to wholeness. Your time for total healing is now. Today you shall recover. Wholeness, healness, and peacefulness is in the mind. That is where all battles for life end and begin. The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man you meet just to get someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left a state in their lives. People who do not have courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams becomes a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We are beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, our ear size, our breast size, the clothes we wear, etc. We are beaten down by people saying nothing will come of our lives. We are beaten down when our mothers and grandmothers constantly say that we're going to be just like our father, an inmate in prison. Many of us are also discouraged when our mothers are inattentive. She is wrapped up in her new boyfriend. But life anew is possible. It is my job to encourage you to go as far as you can dream and as far as your dreams can take you. It is my job to get you to believe in life again. I am sick and tired of people failing at life just because they are around negative speaking and negative acting people. Do not let the failure of other people make you lose confidence in yourself. Yes, you may be surrounded by poverty, but you must look for a way out. The book, If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison, will help you. What you must do above all else is learn to read competently. You must read, and read. Anyone who laughs at you for reading, you need to leave that person alone. I do not care if it's your mother. Anyone who discourages you, you are to stop all association. Man is not different than plants. We need encouragement to grow as plants need water to thrive. You are to leave foolish, stupid people alone. Their ignorance will weigh you down or even get you killed. Sit down and think how you can avoid these people, especially if they're in your family. If you are overwhelmed with the tiring feeling that feels as if you're carrying a bag of stone around every morning when you get out of bed and think how you'll have to spend another living life you're not passionate about, the books I suggest are the perfect solution for your unique needs. Not only will we help you realize why these feelings overwhelm you and what you can do to change it, but they will also teach you how to live a life of strength, courage, fearlessness in order to realize all of your dreams. If you are lacking the attitude and psychology, proper resource or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambition a reality and creating the life you deserve, you will certainly derive the most benefit from professional, incredible content within these books. Contents that will assist you in achieving the results that you are after. You are never to give up on yourself. Are you ready to leave your future to chance? Of course not. Take your life in your hand and learn all the necessary tools mindset, strategies used by the men and women of courage, used in order to live the life of their dream. Change your life with our book starting today.
This right here, this is the moment right before the day starts when you get to look in the mirror and tell yourself who you are. Now, you've been through some dark days. I believe that. But all that pain and struggle, that made the person you're looking at now. So when you walk out of these doors today, I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to believe you are the strongest person walking this planet. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know the grind it took for you to be here. So when you leave here today, I need you to show them.
Dear male listeners, our show may be called Women of Courage, but our name should not stop you from listening to our show. You have as much to learn and to consider as women. Why? Because many of you are fathers, sons, and brothers, and you need to understand those forces and situations that affect the female members of your family. So we do implore you to listen to our show with an ear for understanding. Thank you. Here are some reasons why you need to go register and vote. If you have something to say, then you should vote. If you are sick and tired of the lies, then you should vote. If you want a government for the people, then you should vote. If you want a responsible government, then you should vote. If you want to protect your Social Security, you need to vote. If you want the post office saved, you need to vote. If you want to protest the environment, you need to vote. If you want to protect our rivers, lakes, and streams, you need to vote. If you are tired of the pollution created by carbon emissions, you need to vote. If you want good medical care for all, you need to vote. If you want to protect your family, you need to vote. In the November election, the fate of our country will be in your hands. Therefore, you need to vote. Today's discussion is entitled, A Librarian Can Be Your Best Friend. The reason why we're going to discuss librarians is because I think, or I believe, that many of you are discounting the importance of a librarian. You seek to make friends with lawyers and doctors and Indian chiefs or whatever, but you fail to try to make friends with a librarian. You have no idea how much education these men and women have at their fingertips. They know how to lead you to information that will tell you the newest trends and jobs, that will tell you some of the best colleges, will tell you how to find grants. These people are filled with knowledge, and they know how to find this information. So I'm dedicating this show to librarians because I think a librarian needs to be your next best friend. Here is an inspirational message that I would like to read to you. It begins this way. Every day we wake and drive to work, and we see people walking around smiling, giving the appearance of happiness, and we envy them. We wish that our lives were like theirs. We drive home and turn on the television, and we see people walking around smiling at their friends and spouses, and we envy them, and we wish we could have a life just like theirs. These thoughts bring misery into our lives because we believe what our eyes see. We accept that what is in front of us as being the truth. We do not see the makeup artist in the background making the final touches on the actors' faces. We do not see the diet pills that the actors shove down their throats at night so they can avoid eating. We believe what we see, and what we see makes us miserable. We want to trade places. We begin to think, why could it not have been me? Why could I not have a car like that? Why could I not have a wife like that? Why could I not have a husband like that? Why could I not have a house like that? On and on the questioning continues until finally we are dissatisfied with the world around us. Why could I not have been born to parents like that? All these questions force us to turn inward, and we attack ourselves. We begin to say, I thought Mary would make a wonderful wife when I married her, but now she's grown fat. Mary complains every day. She never stops. I wake up in the morning and Mary complains. I drive to work and she calls me complaining. I come home at night and Mary complains. Will nothing change? Or do you think I thought Tom would be a really good husband? Now I know all he thinks about is the next woman he can take to bed. I'm tired of watching Tom. I just don't care anymore. If he wants to take the entire neighborhood to bed, I don't care what Tom does. How did I get here? Am I destined to live a life I do not want to live? I hate my life. Is there nothing going to change? Every day we make exchanges. We negotiate with ourselves. We make comparisons. And we come up short. And we become more and more unhappy. This is why you must take action. Otherwise, your unhappiness will lead you to alcohol, drugs, petty feuds at work, extramarital affairs, obesity, and then death. Yes, unhappiness can cause death. This is why you must take control over your life. No matter where you find yourself, you must take control of your life. Taking control will not be immediate, but the more you work at reclaiming your life and restoring your control, sooner or later happiness will come. You must be careful when you start reclaiming your life because others around you will not want you to change. They will want you to remain the same unhappy person that you've always been. If you decide to return to school, keep it to yourself. If you decide to buy a new house, keep that to yourself. If you decide to move out of state, keep that to yourself. People have gotten used to the old you, and the you that is new may have a problem exerting authority over your new life with others, and because they will start putting you down. Whereas what you're trying to do is make a down payment on the future. Say you simply may want to learn to play the piano. Do not listen when somebody tells you, you're too old to learn to play. If you want to learn to play the piano, do just that. Read the ads in the paper and find a teacher or contact a local school for an instructor and begin learning to play the piano. This is your life, not anyone else's. Have you noticed how mean some old people are? The meanness comes from dissatisfaction. They spent their entire life doing what others told them to do, doing what they thought others expected them to do. Now they're 65, 70, or 80 years old and they realize they never did what they wanted to do. Is that not enough to make you angry? Communication is the key. We spend a great deal of time learning to communicate with others. We also should spend a great deal of time learning to communicate with ourselves. We need to stay in touch with ourselves over the years. We need to ask ourselves always, what is next? Am I following someone else's playbook? Are there any changes I can make to my life that will make me happier? After you determine what these changes are, you need to sit down and assess how easy or how difficult these changes will be to achieve. The books You Are the Prophet of Your Life and The Devil Cauldron gives you a different perspective on self-assessment. Knowing how to relate to others is just as important as knowing how to relate to yourselves. You will be surprised at the reading. The books are like no other. The books are a good exercise for a reality check. This is why reading is so important. You need to go to the website touchedbythelight.us and read some of the essays on that website. There is a full complement of books on this website. They were written at a great cost to the writer, but they were written to help people. Jealousy, envy, and even hatred are explored in some of these books. You will find the book Be Not Defeated in Hard Times and Acclamation to the Human Spirit. If you do not entertain the idea of defeat, you will keep walking, talking, and working until you win. It is all a matter of goals and asking yourself, what do I want? You may say to yourself, I want an F-150. But are you willing to work a second job to buy one? Or are you willing to sit down at the table and figure out how you can come up with a budget so you can purchase one? Are you willing to tell your wife why this truck is so important to you that you have to have one? It is all a matter of goals and self-examination. Why do you have to buy a dress every week? That's what women should ask themselves. Why are you always trying to get the attention of Betty's husband? Out of all the men in the state, you have to try to attract someone else's husband. You need to examine the way that you think. What does Betty have or what does Bob have that keeps you thinking about attracting Betty's husband or attracting Bob's wife? It is envy that is the reason why you're trying to take someone else's spouse to bed. Why are you constantly trying to get into Betty's house so you can look at her dresser drawer to see how many panties and what kind of panties she has? Why does it make you feel better to try to humiliate someone? Think about it. Why? Read and find out why your life is in such a mess. This is why reading is important, is to help you avoid the entanglements of jealousy, envy, and adultery. Reading and considering another point of view can give you insight into a new idea that can spark your imagination, that can lead you to change that will enhance your life. You do not have to live a filthy life, nor a meaningless life. All you have to do is pick up a book and read the ideas written by someone else. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break. Reading is one of the most important activities that a person can participate in. A world of information is available to you. This information can help you shape and change not only your life, but the lives of your children and spouse. Visit the website touchedbythelight.us and find yourself a book to read. For more information, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Become a sponsor of the Women of Courage show by inviting 10 women for a pleasant afternoon to listen to us speak at your venue. Help us change our community to one of peace and harmony. The Women of Courage show is supported by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help women problem solve and to help women realize their dreams. Women should believe that anything is possible. Our sole purpose is the restoration of injured women, both physically and mentally. We meet twice a month on Saturday at a local restaurant to discuss subjects germane to women. We see 5 main problems of black women that we must solve ourselves. One is the sexual abuse of children, bringing unrelated males into the home and fail to notice changes in behavior. Rape and murder of black women, failure to learn the warning signs, breast cancer, which is a failure to be examined, sex trafficking of black women, accepting prostitution as a way of life, economic trials of black women due to the inability to read or lack of education. Learn how to sponsor the Women of Courage show by speaking to our spokesperson, Renee of WHPR. She can be reached at renee88.1fm at gmail.com. I repeat, renee88.1fm at gmail.com. She will tell you all about it, or you can leave a message at the number 734-686-1444. Thank you. Why you need to go register and vote. The presidential election will soon be here, and I have encountered several people who have said they are not going to vote in this election because none of the candidates are honorable or scripturally correct. While these qualities are highly desirable in candidates, we live in an age where few people involved in politics can claim any of these traits. My answer to these people is as follows. As a member of this society, you need to get out and vote. Your vote counts. It is our right to stand up against wrong in any way we can. Our government is a republic in which we are given the responsibility to vote for people to represent us. As a believer in the rule of law, we have to stand up against evil in any way we can. So we need to ask ourselves, are we for the constitutional qualities that honor the rule of law, or are we against it? If so, then you need to vote. Why complain? Vote. President Hussein Barack Obama tweeted to all of us that we all should vote. In November, it will be in your hands. Vote. Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of a million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach 1 million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
Menzie Salon and Spa is now offering $25 flat irons Tuesdays and $55 relaxer, touch-up, trim, style included on Wednesdays. Full body massage for $29. Barbers on duty. Menzie Salon and Spa is a full-service spa and salon located at 22884 Ryan at 9 Mile Road in Warren, Michigan. Call 586-510-4545.
Here's a short essay that I wrote. It is entitled, Why is Your Life in the Toilet? Do you know why your life is in the toilet? Do you know why no one likes you? Do you know why the dog left you and your mother is not speaking? Or why your girlfriend left you? Or why you can't hold a job for more than 89 days? Do you want to know why every lunch hour you find yourself sitting in your car drinking a beer? You are addicted to cigarettes and alcohol, and how many times have you overdosed on pills? Your problem is lack of knowledge. That's right, your problem stems from lack of knowledge. Your thinking is distorted. You do not know how to manage your life because you don't have enough information to manage your life. You've got a secret, and that secret is killing you. You are hiding the fact that you cannot read or that you do not read. Face it. Have the courage to tell yourself that you cannot read. This is your first step toward courage and change. By not reading, you are refusing to change. You're saying to yourself and everyone else, you are satisfied living the same old life day in and day out, making excuses for yourself while others pass you by. Change in your life will not come if you wait for someone else or some other time. And in your last dollar on the lotto, how many times have you won? You ever thought that maybe you could change your fortune by learning to read? President Obama says, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Get your life back on track by learning to read. Reading is your first step toward a better life. Stop being envious and jealous of other people. You need to learn to read. Join us every Friday and Sunday at Women of Courage at 88.1 FM WHPR to gain information that will help you manage your life. Life does not have to go down the tubes where you end up in prison. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Don't you want to help change the world around you where you live? You need to start reading as if your life depends on it, because your life does. Stop thinking there is nothing you can do to change the world or change the environment around you. Your life is important. You just have to learn to read and start asking more out of life than a swig of beer and a joint of marijuana. Now that we have discussed the various situations that can cause a person to need to know how to read, we will discuss the librarian. You should make a point of making a librarian your best friend. We seek out doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs and politicians, thinking these people will give us status and make us important through association. But the real heroes of any society are the soldier, the teacher, and the librarian. The soldier is important because he protects the society and ensures our well-being. The teacher is important because, along with university professors, they help shape young minds. It is the librarian that knows where all the information and knowledge is stored that we need to educate ourselves. They also know those people in our society who we can go to further invest ourselves. A librarian is the most highly educated person in any society. The next time you are on the internet, key in the word librarian and watch all of the professional associations come up. On to our article, How a Librarian Can Be Your Best Friend. Librarians indeed play a significant role in terms of not only preserving heritage, but also students. Librarians are a very important resource when it comes to the whole issue of the dissemination of information. Schools can do so much by teaching students what to do in class. However, when it comes to that personalized touch of learning, librarians win based on their well informed nature concerning different materials and where to find them. Young people learning different subjects and pursuing different research projects are best placed to befriend a librarian. A librarian would not only point them to the right information, but also the current research findings in that subject matter that a student might be working on, thus leading to better understanding and effective extraction of information from books, journals, and magazines. This demonstrates the importance of librarians. In a highly digitized world, differentiating between what is credible and fake is a serious challenge to many learners. The fact that information is easily available does not necessarily mean that it is good for consumption. Librarians play a major role in filtering information and ensuring that only quality information is accessible to learners and other patrons. Young people will benefit a lot when they befriend a librarian because they will not only access highly reliable information, but also come up to date information on diverse topics. Librarians have expansive knowledge in almost all the subjects that young people, especially students, might be learning about in school. Therefore, working closely with a librarian will ensure that learners develop a close relationship with their subject because the librarian has the capacity to supply the learner with all the information he or she might be looking for to successfully complete a certain research work. Think about what I just said. A librarian ensures that you have quality information, will direct you to an expansive source of information on almost all the subjects that you might be interested in. Librarian can direct you to a supply of material that you will need to complete any assignment. This is a powerful individual. This is an individual that has the polish and know-how to help reduce the number of hours you would have to labor in a library just to find information. When you walk into a library, you don't know where to go. You don't know any of the sources of information that you seek. You don't know the names and the professions of the people who are at the top of their field. You need somebody to tell you. Even if you go to an index, you still don't have this information, but the librarian does. She or he will know where to send you in the library to get what you need. Now, do you see how valuable a librarian is to you and others? They spend hours and hours evaluating information. They spend hours and hours evaluating scientists, professionals, lawyers, doctors, architects, rearranging this information based on priorities and quality. They know the various arguments in various fields. You can walk into a library and ask a librarian, just use the phrase water quality. They can send you to countless articles on the quality of water all around the world, not just in your backyard, but in Europe, in Asia, And in Canada, we need to be happy and glad that we have people that go into the profession of being a librarian. Librarians save us countless hours of painful research. We walk into a library, we've got a problem, and if we had to try to solve that problem ourselves, it would take us hours and weeks to find the books that we need to just sit down and research. In addition to helping learners who have ongoing problems and projects, librarians have the capacity to help children and adults in particular who are just discovering reading to access the right content to read. The mere fact that a librarian is the smartest person in the room should act as a motivation for young people to utilize the service of a librarian and adults to better their education and careers. The high-level organization in terms of preservation, documentation, categorizing, and cataloging demonstrates that librarians have what it takes to help young men and women and adults to access any form of information in any industry with a lot of ease and convenience. The resourcefulness of librarians make them the best bet when it comes to recreational learning, classroom improvement, and research. The next time your city asks you to vote on millage for a librarian, you say yes. Librarians are worth their weight in gold. And by the way, if you walk into a library, you can count on a librarian giving you information on how you can learn to read. They can possibly direct you to organizations that specialize in teaching adults how to read. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now, after our broadcast, you should go to YouTube and watch our video for a second and third time. This will reinforce the information that we are discussing. When you watch our videos on YouTube, it would be helpful to us if you would subscribe to the channel Touched by the Light Publishing. This way, you will be reminded when we publish another video. And if our videos are helpful to you, tell a friend or a coworker. Thank you so much. Remember, if you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you.
You have 3 choices. You can sit on your couch and do nothing. You can participate sometime hardly doing anything. Or you can step into the future that you designed. The decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You either stand up for yourself with the chance of winning or failing, or grow old, mean, bitter, and hateful, driving your children to run from home or move to another state because of your archaic ideas. Time is running out. What are you going to do?
Please tell your friends and family about our broadcast and invite them to listen to us every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. on 88.1 FM WHPR. You can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com to learn more about our programs and how you can become involved. You can find inspirational articles by the Women of Courage Show by visiting the website touchedbythelight.us. You can read some of our essays on your lunch hour. These articles will help you last throughout the day. They will inspire you not to quit. Now, here are some excuses that people use for not reading. One, lots of people say, I don't have the time. Say books are too expensive. I don't know what to read. People say reading keeps me up at night. Can't I just watch the movie? Reading is too hard. Never got in the habit of reading. Well, let's discuss these excuses. If you say you don't have the time to read, what you can do is start carrying a book around with you so when the opportunity occurs, you can pick up that book and read it on your lunch hour, while you're riding the bus to work, while you're waiting to pick up your child from school. It does not have to be overwhelming. You just need to select specific times to read. This excuse of books being too expensive is outrageous because if you can't purchase a book, you can surely go to a library and check a book out to read. So that's just an excuse to say books are too expensive. There's a lot of reading material on the internet. There are people that publish articles that you can read. Talk to a librarian and she can tell you some reasonably priced books that you can purchase. Also, you can purchase used books at a used bookstore. You can always look for discounts on books. The excuse that books are too expensive is just that, an excuse. Here's one: I don't know what book to read. Well, the answer to this is just start reading. Read whatever book comes your way. Finally decide what types of books that you like to read. But if you are an experienced reader, you know that there's lots of different genres out there to read that will give you information that you've never considered. You can't just selectively read one type of book like, okay, I like mysteries. Well, there are other geography books to read. There's photography books to read. There are all types of books that will enhance your knowledge of life. You are limiting the knowledge that you can assess by just liking one particular type of book to read. Seriously, you need to broaden your reading experience. You can read books about how to build a house. You can read books about wiring a house. You can read books about pouring cement. This is enhancing your knowledge. As far as books keeping you up at night, the thing to do with this, if this is keeping you awake, is not to read at night. You need to find another time to read, so that way that if the book is interesting, you do not read it late into the night and then you have a hard time getting up in the morning to go to work. It happens to lots of people. You can start reading the book and the book is so interesting that you read throughout the night. I had a friend that did that. She was reading the book, You Are the Prophet of Your Life. She started reading that book and she read it throughout the night, and the next morning is when she finished it. She said she could not put the book down. Well, I understand this. Reading can keep you up at night. And telling yourself that I'd rather just watch the movie, that's not really good because you miss a lot of the drama by reading the words that the writer has written for movies or a book. It's not just the idea that's conveyed by a book, it is also the wording that's used in the book. It's the way that the author writes that also affects you. So just watching a movie is not sufficient. Yes, you can watch Pride and Prejudice, but actually reading the book is much, much different. It's a whole new experience. Just like Dr. Zhivago, the same thing. Reading the book and watching the movie is two different experiences. Oh, if you tell yourself that reading is too hard, then we got a problem. And we need to correct this problem if you're telling yourself that reading is too hard for you. Part of the problem when people say that reading is too hard is that their vocabulary is limited. You may have to start reading with a dictionary next to you. Also, you may need to start exercising to expand your vocabulary. Just start selecting words from the dictionary and using these words in everyday speech and everyday sentences until you build your vocabulary. Reading isn't always easy, but it does not have to be hard. Try not to be intimidated by books. People who read books for many reasons. Read the book for enjoyment, not as an academic experience. So when you sit down with a book, you're preparing yourself to be entertained. You can pick up a book and be entertained. You can really enjoy that book. That book can make you laugh, cry. It can make you sit on the edge of your seat. There are classics that can be difficult to read. There's the book Robinson Crusoe, book Gulliver's Travels. Books can be difficult to read. Part of the problem is that they were written long ago. Some authors are difficult to read, like James Baldwin. John Steinbeck, his Grace of Wrath is a very difficult read, but once you read the book, you have been satisfied. He teaches a lot on sociology in his books, John Steinbeck. You want to do is overcome your negativity toward books. So rather than biting off something too big to chew, start with smaller, less involved books. And on the way, you need to start building your vocabulary. Here's another thing that people tell themselves. Oh, I just never got in the habit of reading. Well, you need to. You need to make reading a habit. You need to make it a point to select literature on a regular basis, and you need to read. You need to make a commitment to reading. You need to get in the habit of reading. Once you get started, try reading for longer periods with a greater frequency. Even if you do not enjoy reading for yourself, read a story to your child. That can really create a bond between you and your child. You'll be surprised what conversations you can have with your children based on reading. You'll be giving your children a great gift which will prepare them for school, which can prepare them for life, which will help them learn how to read. And plus, it is a bonding experience. Your children will likely remember your reading to them for the rest of their lives. Reading to your child is quality time. Reading can become a social experience. You can have conversations with your coworkers based on short stories that you've read or stories from people from a book club. Also, you can go out to a dinner engagement and meet people and discuss books. Book discussions is an easy way of making friends.
As a member of this society, it is your duty to get out and vote. You cannot be fooled by what they are trying to sell you. Your vote counts. Your vote can help shape our future. Voting gives you the power to decide on the quality of your life and the life that you want for you, your family, and future generations. Voting gives you an opportunity to stand up against the issues that impact you the most. This includes things like school funding, public transportation, and raising the minimum wage. These things impact you and your family every single day. Not voting on these issues is giving up your opportunity to make a change. When you look at your paycheck and you see those taxes coming out, where are they going? How are they being used? When you vote, you can let your city and state know what you think. You have the power to help decide where taxes are going in your community. Next time that you are outside, I want you to look around. This is your home. This is your community. It is made up of people that want better for you and themselves. When you vote, you bring the power back to your home. And you let the people in the governing offices know how you feel. Get up, sign up, and get ready for your voice to be heard. You need to vote now.
Please tell your friends and family about our broadcast and invite them to listen to us every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. on 88.1 FM WHPR. You can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com to learn more about our programs and how you can become involved. You can find inspirational articles by the Women of Courage Show by visiting the website touchedbythelight.us. You can read some of our essays on your lunch hour. These articles will help you last throughout the day. They will inspire you not to quit. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage and have a great day.